Hey, shalom, shalom. First off, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahawah, Bahashim YAHAWASHI, Bahashim Rachah. Double honor to the apostles, great millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect, the men, women, and children that are predestined to receive salvation and to be the first fruits of the kingdom of heaven, which is the kingdom of Israel. So it's another article right here coming from Bloomberg. It says UK threatens 10 years jail for COVID quarantine rule breakers. Says travelers must pay $2,410 each for 10-day hotel isolation. Arrivals must take 2 COVID tests during quarantine period. So, as these laws, they're trying to change things and basically create a totalitarian rulership. Every so often they're doing harsher and more draconian steps. So people are basically slaves, all right, prisoners. It says passengers traveling to the UK will face tougher quarantine measures, including enforced stays in hotels. So you enforcing somebody to stay somewhere, that's basically what? That's basically a prison. Okay, it's against their own rights, or whether or not, if they want to or not, they're forcing people that are coming to the UK to stay in these hotels, and not only stay there, but they gotta pay the fine. I mean, they gotta pay the fee to stay there, which is almost $2,500. It says repeated tests and the threat of fines and even jail as authorities seek to get a grip on the coronavirus pandemic. So if you don't stay there, if you don't have the money, to stay there, because $2,500 is not, something light, but that's what they're forcing you to do. So it says Health Secretary Matt Hancock outlined plans for quarantine restrictions coming into force in England from February 15th in an attempt to prevent dangerous new virus strands entering the country. And the thing about these strands are, they're mutating. So this is something that is going to continuously, happen. Meaning, then if these strands are continuously mutating, then that means that these measures are going to have to stay in place, for long term. And this, goes into the scriptures where it talks about a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able, because nobody's going to want to come to a country where they got to be forced to quarantine at a hotel and pay $2,400 to do so. All right. And if you don't do that, or if you don't have the means to do that, then what happens is that they're going to throw you, they can even throw you in jail. All right. It says traveling arrivals from 33 nations on the government's red list will be forced to pay £1,750 or $2,410 per person for solo travelers to isolate in a hotel for 10 days. It says the government has signed contracts with only 16 hotels to provide 4,600 rooms so far, Hancock said, promising more rooms will be booked as needed. So they're making it seem as though they're trying to do, you a favor, making it seem as though it's something that is beneficial. But we see and we know that ultimately this is just going into that whole, new world order system, man. Okay, because the thing about this is how are they going to be able to track everybody that that comes into the country? Ultimately, it's going to go into what? Having a tracking system, and that tracking system is going to be that RFID chip. So it says the government is in contact with authorities in Scotland and Ireland, and measures will apply to British and Irish residents. We must strengthen our defenses yet further, Hancock said, adding that the rules will be backed by strong enforcement. So they're trying to strengthen their defenses, but who are they? Who are they being defended? Who are they seeing as a threat? Great, because it's not the virus. because the people are the ones that are being, putting all these measures on. Okay, it's the actual citizens and the travelers who are getting all the enforcement. So it says under the plans, all passengers will be backed by Salakia. All passengers will be required by law to take further corona tests on day 2 and day 8 of quarantine. So now it's going to be a law that you got to take the test, and that's how they're going to do it, because it's going to eventually be a law that you got to get the vaccine. You see, it says arrivals failing to take tests will face $1,000 pound fines. So it's going to be law. It's going to be a law that you have to take the test, and if you don't take the test, you're going to be fined. And then ultimately, it says here, anyone caught lying on the passengers' forms or trying to conceal that they have been in a country on the red list in the 10 days before arriving to the UK will face a prison sentence of as much as 10 years. All right, and this article doesn't show you which countries are on the red list, but I'm pretty sure America is on the red list because of the numbers that they say that America has. So all these, a lot of these Western nations, they're all in, obviously, all of them really are in cahoots with one another. So these are just, once again, measures pushing toward this new system, okay, where they're going to be able to track you, or they're going to put that chip in you so that you won't be able to get caught. You won't be able to lie to them. All right. You won't be able to conceal where you have been. Everything is going to be tracked. Everything is going to be, in the system. Okay. And if you take that chip, you're going to be linked into that system. All right. There's a TV show called A Brave New World. Came out last summer, where basically everybody was connected through some I forgot what the system was called, but it was basically a contact lens, which had like a little string at the end, which it connected you to everybody. Everybody was connected to everybody, in this country. Actually, the country was London. They called it New London. You see. So this is where things are going. They're applying that pressure. All right, pressure from above, pressure from below. Fines. Okay, attacking your financial security, financial slavery, and then also physical slavery by forcing you to quarantine and then threatening you with 10 years in jail if you do not abide by these draconian measures. So, and as we always go, into that word draconian, basically goes into harsh measures. Let's see if I can get real quick. Because in the scripture it tells us, Salakia. So bear with me while this uploads. Let's do this. Draconian. So it says draconian of laws or their application excessively harsh and severe. Okay, it says harsh, severe, strict, extreme, drastic, stringent, tough, cruel, swinging. So this is what is happening, man. That they're applying these laws, these strict and harsh laws over not quarantining, not in this virus is not even a real deadly virus. When you look at the numbers as it compares to the people, the death rate is only like a 0.007%. It's not even a real deadly disease. But once again, they're using this as a ploy to push this new way of life, as they call it, the new normal. So when you go into the scripture here, let me get that, in the book of Revelation, chapter 13, which is what we're seeing, all these things that are happening, it's all prophecy, man, which is why we continue to keep harping in on these things. All right, this is the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." And I went to that word, dragon. It goes to this word, Draco. All right. Draken, and then when you go to the root of that word, Draken, it goes to Draco, which we just read. Draco was an Athens lawmaker. That's where you get the word draconian from. All right, so I end it there. Okay, Lord willing, hey, we just going to continue to keep watching and seeing the things, the measure that we're seeing is going on. So, with that, call Lord YAHAWASHI, Till next time, Shalom.